First time I fished the Channel Islands, it was pretty intimidating, actually. It was majestic. The tops of the islands were all covered in fog. It looked like a scene from Jurassic Park. And I'm so thankful that I get to experience that in my backyard. When I was moving to the Channel Islands, I was a bit intimidated because I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know the fishery. I didn't know the seasonal species that everyone was going after. It's very tight-lipped here. I had to go out there and learn the hard way by going cove to cove, point to point, and figuring out where the fish were, what time of year they were there. But I did that, and it made me a better fisherman for it. The opportunities in the Channel Islands are almost endless in a Southern California type of fishery. You have white sea bass and your shallow water rockfish. You have halibut that migrate in. Off the islands, you can get into things like yellowfin, bluefin, even a swordfish if you're lucky. But 9 times out of 10, you're going to need squid to catch the fish you're targeting. That is probably the biggest takeaway that I found when I showed up to the Channel Islands, because I didn't know squid don't come to the bait barge. You have to learn how to make it yourself. If you can't make the squid, you're not gonna catch fish. I'm so glad we have divers on the boat today because, I mean, the conditions look pretty killer right now. The culture here in the Channel Islands isn't just fishing. Free diving here is world class. There are so many options in the Channel Islands, whether it's scallops along the rocks, yellowtail and white sea bass in the kelp beds, or sheep's head and sea urchins in the flats. It's a really exciting environment to go dive and see what's out there. The water is crystal clear. We do have massive upwelling that comes off Point Conception to where it makes our waters colder. They're a bit more frigid than what you would expect in Southern California.
So one of my favorite things to do here in the Channel Islands is to dive for scallops. And usually I'll just chuck them right underwater. Sometimes I'll actually knock them off the rocks and bring them back up on board here. And right now it's a little daunting because you can't really get into the shell to clean it out. So there's a little trick we have. You just take a zip tie, and right down near the hinge here, there's a little spot you can just kind of stick the zip tie into. And it makes the scallop think that it's got something foreign in its shell that it's gonna try to expel.
Jeff came into the picture a little bit further down the road. It played in my favor having a friend that had a degree in marine biology from UCSB because he knew the islands like the back of his hand. And he comes from a totally different angle than what I'm used to. He came from a diver's background.
There he goes. There he goes. Now he's starting to open up. That's all it takes. Open them up like that. So now the part that we eat is this adductor muscle that we use to close. So you just take a butter knife, just scrape it off the bottom of the shell here. There's our meat. Clean it up. So there you go. There's a nice little diver scallop, rock scallop nugget. And these are really good to eat raw. I'll actually eat these right now, right here on the boat.
Cheers.
You?
Oh yeah. That is really good.
Jeff is super knowledgeable about the environment, and it really shows.
Well, really, one of the big reasons what makes these islands so special is that it's right in what we call a biogeographic transition zone. Over just about 30 miles, you transition from that really cold Central Coast water to a lot more of a warm, almost subtropical influence. And what that does is that creates a lot of different little microhabitats for a lot of different species. It's a really, really diverse area, and that's a big reason what makes it so special and so interesting every single time you come out here. You kind of never know what to expect. There's just so much life out here.
When you go to figure out the Channel Islands on your own, you literally have to go cove to cove, point to point, and figure it out yourself. And it can honestly take you a lifetime. It is something that is meant to be explored, meant to be discovered, and I want to figure this island chain out.